So squats, you can do back squat or front squat. Again, depending on where we are. Ideally, we would like to have all the safety racks and whatnot. We understand that, but this is all just purely for demonstration, and you're just using a small resistance to feel what's going on. So here now you got to really concentrate, make sure you're centered, because that's pulling quite exponentially up there. Right. Now you may find with the resistance that it changes how your form goes, right? Because you're operating under different loads here. So you get set through the hips, so you got that core engaged down, so it's easing off. And now I have to really drive on the way up. Right. Again, where we're anchored and where we're facing can change what it is that we feel. So again, if you turn around, it's much more on that anterior part again. So as I'm coming down, I'm feeling that a lot more on my way down. It's still tough on the top, but it's not as hard as the other way. So down, and you see that sort of self-correction in there. I'm more upright facing the station, whereas I have more of a forward tilt. Okay, again, it's knowing where to apply the force of these things for your client as they've built up that movement competency. So it's something that you will add later on. It's quite an advanced sort of thing. So again, it's not for newbies. Now, good morning rows, you set up the same. So cross the back, come forward to where you feel that tension and you feel comfortable here, and then hinge through the hips, drive, and right now it's really making sure I'm holding solid at the top. So it eases off. Okay. Same thing when we go the other way around. Hinge. This is quite tough on the front side of my body, so that anterior side of the body facing the anchor point. Reverse lunge will be no different to your squats. And we set up, again, find where we're safe and comfortable. Step down and back, and then drive, hopefully until your feet come side by side. Down. Like that. So that's it. You can see there's a lot more leg drive to come back up, which you'll probably find now there is more control on my way down. There's not as much force needed to come up, more control needed for the descent facing the anchor. Like that. And sort of lastly, I don't ever recommend facing the rack for presses. Always face away, because it's a lot of pull forward and most people don't have the shoulder stability or strength to handle that. If they do, fantastic, but I feel like risk and reward is fairly skewed. So got to remember, this is quite a lot of tension. These black bands don't seem like much, but they're a lot. So this will require a lot of concentration when you're doing it. But here, nice and solid through that core, so keeping that pelvis tucked. You can progress that to a push press, a little dip. solid. Even though there's some shake at the top, it still needs to be solid. Like, you can't get slack. So making sure that you lock right out and stay strong with it, because with these sorts of things you'll notice straight away, if you're not, it's going to pull you straight back. So they can have good translation over to certain portions of Olympic lifting, not replacing the entire movement, by using it to improve certain portions that you're not functionally up to speed on, if that makes sense. Or even just improving that overhead stability part. You could simply be an overhead squat with the bands on and work through your overhead squat position, or just stay overhead, walk forward, walk back and feel that resistance on there, and just get used to being under tension when you're in that snatch position.